Hi,
There we go. Okay. Hi.
how are you?
I am doing well. How are you?
Oh, I'm doing great. Thank you. Thank you so much for wanting to come on an episode. I'm so happy we finally got to chat.
Yes. No, thank you so much for the invitation. I really appreciate it.
Of course. Yeah. Welcome to another episode of Bookspace Chatter. Today's special guest is Jennilynn Wyer, and one of my absolute favorite authors. Like, I gotta say, my Jennilynn shelf is one of my absolute favorite shelves on my bookshelf. So, for our listeners, do you want to explain a little bit about what your writing is and what they can expect when they pick up one of your books?
Oh, okay. Two things. I am known as the queen of plot twists that you never see coming. Like jaw hanging. You get to that part of the book, jaw hanging open, throw your Kindle across the room, and then I love to bring the ugly cry. I love crafting emotional stories. The way that I write it like it's a movie. I want the reader to be able to immerse themselves in that story and be able to see themselves as the characters. And then that kind of draws in all that emotional connection. And so then when I hit you with the wham bam, the ugly tears just start coming, and I love it. It makes me so, so happy.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, that sums it up perfectly. I gotta say, like, when I first picked up your book, I was like the first one. It was like the closest experience to when I like binged Twilight because I just could not get enough. Like I loved getting each book and like every time I'm so grateful that you have gifted me PR boxes and every time I would see like your packaging, I would get so excited. I'm like, "Oh, it's a Jennilynn package." And I cannot wait to open it. So like I love the roller coaster that each of these books so far has provided and it was truly just such a wonderful little thing because like I don't know, it was like the first series in a long time where I was just so deeply invested and yeah, when I picked it up it was just there and I loved it.
Perfect. Yeah, that's exactly what I'm going for.
Yeah,
So thank you.
mission
Thank you.
accomplished.
I'm gonna pat myself.
As you should. So what was it like releasing the last book, the most recent in the series? I don't want to give away any spoilers, but I gotta say it was so entertaining and for those who have read the series so far, it was like the most, I don't know, I was an emotional wreck.
Just wait for reflections of you. That's all I have to say.
Yeah.
um, so the Fallen Brook series is actually is these are the very first books I ever wrote 5 years ago, actually. And they got picked up by a publisher last year, and they re-released them. And then my readers have been begging, begging, begging for because I can't give away any spoilers for the book, the new book I'm about to release with the publisher, Reflections of You. And so that's going to be brand new. But the All Our Next Times, Paper Stars Rewritten, and Broken Butterfly, I indie published, self published.
Mhm.
Oh goodness, it happened like almost exactly 5 years ago. July 9th was when to 2020 was
Oh,
when I released All Our Next Times. So I love that this series, since it was picked up by the publisher, that is breathing new life into it, and that new readers get to meet Elizabeth, Jason Ryder, Fallon, Julian, and Elijah. Um, it's just there's nothing like those first books,
mm-mm.
that you write. Those characters are just they're my heart and my soul, and I love them so much. So yeah, when the publisher wanted them, I was like, okay, well, if you want them, I'm going to go through and heavily edit them because the way I write now is so different from the way I was writing 5 years ago.
Yeah.
And so yeah, I went through, I edited each one. I did the new covers for them, and then wow, I love all the feedback from new readers who are picking up the series now. So
Yeah.
anyway, but thank you. Yeah, thank you for picking up and reading.
course. Like I said, it's one of my favorite series and I love how, like you said, they're like your heart and your soul. And you can really tell that when you're reading because it's like you really care about each of the characters. Like as the books progress, as we get further into the series, you can just tell that like your heart's like pouring onto the page. Like you put so much thought and so much love into these characters and what they're doing in their lives, and it just really shows through.
Thank you. Yeah, no, I love those characters. I'm so glad I got to revisit them, and I'm so glad I finally got to write that fourth book that everybody's been waiting for because I'd been putting it off and putting it. You know?
That's so funny. Does it feel strange to like have the power in your hands? Like you have your readers dangling on each word, and like you said, was waiting for the fourth book, and you knew when you can give it to us and when not to.
No, no, no. No. I'm actually the opposite. What readers want, I try to give it to them. So after I finished the Fallen Brook series, everybody was like, "We love Julie and Elijah so much. You know, do we get to hear their love story?" Okay, so then I wrote Julian and Elijah's story, and that's the Forever MM series, and it shows their love story. It's the same timeline as Fallen Brook, but it's through their eyes, and it chronicles how they get together. And then I wrote four standalone books, each one about Fallon's half siblings. So that those are out, and then it just keeps growing and growing. Um, and then, oh goodness, about 3 years ago, I'm an author who doesn't like to stay in their lane. That's kind of what they say. They're like, I've always been told authors need to stay in their lane. Pick a trope, stick with that trope, just write in that trope. And I'm like, I can't do it.
No.
I cannot do it. I've got too many ideas going on. I have too many things that I want to explore
Hmm.
as a writer. And so about 3 years ago, I kind of diverged off of Fallen Brook and decided to take a walk on the dark side. And so I delved into dark RHY Choose and loved it, absolutely loved it. And so that's how my Savage Kingdom series started, which then grew into the Beautiful Sin series. And so I'm kind of like juggling both right now.
Yeah.
So yeah, but the thing is I didn't do a different pen name because even though they're kind of different tropes, they still have all of those really funky, like shocking twists in them, and kind of like I feel that they're connected in some way.
Yeah.
Because the Fallen Brook series, it kind of got dark in a couple of places, and I was like, what happens if I go darker? And so that's where the other
You gotta
and
find out.
and yeah, whoo, yeah. Yeah, it was interesting to kind of step outside of my comfort zone, and uh, yeah, that my RH series, they get pretty dark, like dark.
Well, I'm definitely gonna have to read those next after I recover from this one.
Goodness, yeah. No ugly cries, but like, you know,
I know I did that enough on the Fallen Brook series, okay?
when you get reflections of you, I think you're. I think I'm going to pull some more out of you. I've already been yelled at by my PA and my beta readers because they got to that part and they were just like bawling their eyes out. And I was like, you knew it was coming. Why
I
are you arguing with me?
Oh my gosh. I knew it was gonna be hard when your last PR box for your last one you sent me had literal tissues in them. So I knew
Mhm.
what I was going into, so it's good to be prepared for what's coming next.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. What was it like getting in the headspace for each of these series, like each of the books? Because I know we get a little bit more into different characters as you go along, and I'm trying to keep everything spoiler free, but I do really love Fallon, how we get to see more of him, and Ryder, of course, and so like it's all of them are great. But yeah, like I think I'm Team Ryder. I love them all, but I don't know. I don't know.
Well, it's most of my readers know every single story I write is based upon something that's happened to me in my life. So I infuse the characters with my traits, with, like my husband, with things that happened in the past, with things that I went through. And I tell my readers, this happened to me. This is what this is based on, in the reader notes in the beginning of each of my books. And so actually the Fallen Brook series was kind of based on, so Jason is my ex, Ryder is my husband, Fallon is my book husband that I in my head. Um, and then the friends in there are kind of based on people from my life who, were friends from with me growing up.
Oh,
Fallon actually wasn't even supposed to be a main character. I had like, okay, well, I'm a pantser writer, and so I don't plot things out. I just kind of write and let the story move organically, and let the characters speak. So Fallon was one of the characters who spoke, and he was like, "Hey, here I am. Pay attention to me." And I was like, "Oh." And so he wasn't even supposed to be in any of the other books. He was just supposed to be that guy in All Our Next Times who was just at the fields, announcing the races. But there was something about him, and he was just like, he kept tapping on me, going, "Hey, I'm here, I'm here," and I was like, "Well." And then it just kind of blew up from there. And so that's how he gets pulled in into book two, and you see that side of him in book three, and then get ready for book four because Fallon's coming in hot.
I'm like on the edge of my seat. I'm just gonna fall out of the chair in a minute.
There's just something about characters that, as a writer, you think, okay, I've got this, and your character's like, no, you don't. This is what I want to do, and you're like, okay. So you kind of follow what your characters are telling you, that they want. It's weird. It's so weird.
Actually so amazing though, because like I've heard, different authors say like they listen to their characters, like they don't plot their
Mhm.
book or they might not know how it's gonna end until they start writing. And so that's amazing though.
All I know is I know what I want their hair color to be, what their eye color to be, and their height, and that's it. And I just start writing.
That is the coolest thing. Oh my gosh. Well, it's working for you big time, okay?
Oh, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, because when I originally writing Fallen Brook, the other person was supposed to be the one that yeah. So
Oh,
zoop, that's
yeah,
all.
that was enough of that. Well, it flows so easily for you. Is writing something that you always wanted to do, or is it something that just sort of came to you one day? You can tell you were meant to do this.
Um, so I have been writing kind of on and off my whole life. I used to write a lot of poetry.
Oh,
I like in school I would win poetry awards because my poetry was, of course, dark, um, and,
what
and
else?
emotional. Um, I I wrote some short stories, and then I'm a scientist by degree, and so that's kind of what I worked in. Um, my adult life, and so my writing was more scientific. I was writing, publishing in science journals and research journals, and um, I worked a little while for a textbook company doing, science lessons. I don't know. It's just I have a love of romance books. I would read, oh goodness, 340 books a year, so basically a book a day.
Oh,
Yeah, I mean, I just devoured it, and I devoured it. And then when COVID came along, I found myself. So I was the director of an environmental nonprofit that focused on the conservation of monarch butterflies. And when COVID came along, kind of everything shut down. You're stuck in the house, and I was like, well, I had been making notes of like ideas, and that first line from Fallen Brook where it says, you are ugly, you are,
yeah.
that like kind of came to me, and I had written it down, and I was like, okay, well, I've got the time. I'm here. Let's just start writing, and then I haven't stopped. So it's been a crazy, crazy ride.
Wow, it has. That was like the most crazy journey to bring you here. And I totally get what you're saying because I think maybe not every single day, but I've almost averaged a book a day this year. So like I totally get the love of romance books and I'm so happy that you decided to give it a go because that's just amazing that you get and like you said you were a scientist and like getting to do all this. Like that is just the coolest thing ever. Biology was my favorite
Mm.
subject in school and I actually was planning on becoming a marine biologist. So
Oh,
yeah, that was the dream for a while and then I sort of found my calling when um Booksta hit and everything. And so like now I'm doing a podcast. Now I'm working with authors. So I think it's so cool when you end up where you're supposed to be. And so I'm thankful that your scientific journey brought you here eventually to us.
goodness. So we kind of have a similar,
We
a
do.
little parallel. Yeah,
Yeah.
very cool.
Yeah. I live in Kentucky and so it sort of put a dent in the I'm not by an ocean, so it might make it a little hard unless you want to move to like California or Florida.
True. Cool.
Yeah.
But to where you could, even though you're landlocked, you've got the lakes and the ponds and the river systems.
Yeah, I love fishing. I the girliest girl ever, but I love to go fishing. Like it's just I love it. I love being by the water.
I know, beach for me. I'm a beach girl.
Oh my gosh, the beach. I haven't got to go for I think it was this is the second year in a row. No, yeah, second year and I miss it so bad. I love going to Florida. That's usually where I go and I miss it. It's the best.
I know we haven't been able to go anytime recently, and I it's like, I see pictures of the beach, and I'm just like, oh, I want to be there.
Exactly. You get it. It's so amazing how you get to make these connections, like just being a part of a community that loves everything that you love. And that's the reason I started a Bookstagram. It'll be a year this at the end of this month. And it
Oh, congratulations.
thank you. I never would have imagined so much would have happened within a year. And so it's really
Happens fast.
yeah, it's great when you get to think that like these people wouldn't be in your lives had you not made that choice to just be like, I want a place where I can talk about books, my love of books with people who understand it. And now it's just I can't imagine doing life without it, you know? So,
Yeah, it's once we call each other sister friends. She actually read my books, the Fallen Brook series, when they first came out, and so we started talking that way. And it was her and her daughter, and then boom, we're family now. So her kids are my kids, her family's my family. We talk and video all the time. We've created this wonderful, wonderful friendship over the years, and it's like you said, you meet. It's I would never have met her any other way,
oh my,
and so now I'm blessed with this wonderful woman and her entire family who I absolutely adore.
yeah.
I love it absolutely. So thank you, books, the community. i
Yeah,
got i got my bestie out of it.
I know. That's beautiful. I love that and getting to hear, stories of people finding true friendships because it's literally one of the kindest communities that I've ever seen. So,
Well, I did put her in my Savage series because I was like, okay, I'm gonna do a character in you, and I made her the bad girl, and I killed her. So she 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 didn't know whether to be happy about that or not. But then I based her daughter. I also write YA books under a pen name, Jennilynn Wyer, and her daughter I use for one of my sweet YA romances,
oh,
and that is I love it. And that became an award winner for me, so it's even super awesome because of
yeah.
that.
Oh, wow. That's really special. That's amazing. And I love how you
Yeah.
intertwine your real life with that, like, included them in the books. That's so beautiful.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I mean, I write what I know, and if I don't know it, I will research it to death online. But yeah, I mean, if you want to snip it into my life, read my books, because each one I'm pulling certain things from my life and putting them in. And so you get to know me as a person, you get to know my backstory through the characters and the storylines.
Yeah. Oh, wow. You are like dabbling in so many different, genres or like you said, the Savage series gets a little darker than the Fallen Brook, and then you got the YA. There is so much, yeah, in your head. Like, how long does it usually take you to like finish a book once you start writing?
Goodness. Okay, so things are changed now. So before I was able to write a book in about 3 months. Um, and so I was publishing, goodness, like 6 books a year
Oh, wow.
to start out with. And then about a year and a half ago, is when I started my cover design business, because I had so many of my author friends, they kept saying, their book cover designer goes to them, or, the cost of it. And I mean, just all of these things. It was just horror story after horror story. And I was like, look, I used to be a graphic designer. I've been designing my own covers. I'm just going to start doing this. And I wanted to do it to help the indie author community. So, you know, I I made sure that like the prices were super cheap. I give you unlimited edits for it and everything. So when I started doing that, that kind of blew up. Um, and so I'm having to juggle writing and cover design. And then the publisher picked me up. And so sacking. And so I kind of had to pull back a little and slow it down. And so now it's taking me about 6 months to write a book, but that's okay because I'm super
It is.
busy, and I would rather have quality than quantity, and not because there's an algorithm authors are told we have to use if we are self-publishing on that platform, which
Mhm.
I hope you know which platform I'm talking about.
Yeah.
And so in order to stay relevant, that algorithm wants you to release every 3 months, every 90 days.
Oh, wow.
And so that's why you see the fast release books come out. But I'm at that point right now where I'm just like, I can't sustain that anymore.
No.
And that's okay.
Yeah.
That's okay. I've learned to, if I write one sentence and then my brain says I'm done, I'm done. And I shut the laptop and I go on to the next thing. So basically, self love, I've learned how to kind of take the pressure off myself
Yeah.
in the past year and a half, and do a little bit of self love and explore other creative avenues.
Mhm.
But writing is not, it's my love, it's my passion. I hope to continue doing it for the next 10, 20, 30 years if I can. But yeah, it's this year has been a lot. It's been very, very busy.
It sounds like it. Oh my gosh. I don't know how, you have been able to like do so much. It's amazing that you can still get books out with everything else going on. So I mean, like it's completely fine to be able to pull back a little bit and find a little bit more of a balance and get to explore different avenues and get to do the best of both worlds. You want to make the best of your life, like do everything that you want that you think you would enjoy. So
Yep, spot on. Spot on.
So, did your love of reading romance books make you know that that's the genre specific that you wanted to go into? Because, like, they have a lot of suspense in them as well, your books. Like you said, the plot twist, the jaw on the floor moments. I mean, I'm a reader that's been known to chuck their book across the room when I get so excited or shocked. So, so like, what made you know that that's what you wanted included in yours?
Um, I I devoured Nora Roberts and Linda Howard,
Yeah.
and Judith McNaught, particularly her historical ones. But back then, all the books had some sort of romantic suspense element in them. They weren't, it was they weren't the tropes that we, the very niche tropes that we're used to seeing now. And so because that was what I was used to reading, and that's what I felt. It felt natural to write,
Mhm.
if that makes sense. And so that's I like, like I said, I like making my books like movies. And to me, for my writing, not my reading, but for my writing, I have to have that, I have to have tension. I have to have something happening in the background. I have to
Mhm.
have, you know,
Yeah.
or else it's just not fun. It's not fun for me. So yeah, it's blame it on Nora. Blame it on Nora and Linda, because they're the ones who, those books. Oh, yeah, I
I
mean, they're still my favorites. I can reread some of those stories like 100. I think I've probably read like Judith McNaught's historical novels like 150 times each. It's
Oh
just
wow.
one of those so much.
Yeah, like that's how you know you find a good book. It's like I love to reread my favorites. And I have so many,
Mhm.
I've lost count on a Nora Roberts shelf. Like I have so many of her books under Nora Roberts, under JD Robb. So I totally can relate to that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Have you tried her JD
Yeah.
Robb series?
I did when they first came out.
Mm.
Um, but the futuristic stuff just kind of wasn't my wheelhouse.
Yeah.
It's the contemporary stuff that I really love. And then, oh goodness, I'm trying to think of who else. I mean, there were just so many that I loved reading. And then, of course, life took over, family took over,
Hmm.
marriage, kids, all that. And so I lost that reading time for a while, and then I picked it back up, and then that's when I was just like devouring like a book a day. Couldn't stop at all. It was just, oh, love stories just every freaking time. I love stories. Just
I totally get that. And I mean, it's so amazing when people can relate so much to a book. And it's words on a page, but the author poured their hearts and their soul into it, and we connect to it. It means something to us. We want to get to the end. We want to know what happens. We want to see what comes of the stories they create. And it's just a magical thing. Like, if you've never tried reading, everyone should at least try reading one book, at least pick up a book and just see what happens because you might just find your next calling, your next hobby. So,
yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, and and I understand, my books are very, you know, the way that I write them, it's as far from a Dick and Jane novel as you can get because I love that kind of flowery, immersive language,
Hmm.
descriptions, um, throwing all your senses at you, because I want you to be able to see, smell, hear, I want all of your senses engaged.
Yes.
And I know some, readers don't like that at all, but it's the way that, I picture things in my mind, I run the scenes, and I have to trust me, I cry too. I cry. Oh, I bawl my eyes out. So if I always tell my readers, you may, DM me about ugly crying at this part, but trust me, I cried probably 3 times as hard writing it. My family can attest to that because they'll come in and I'm just like bawling my eyes out while typing on the keyboard. And they're like, "What's wrong?" I was like, "Oh, I just did this to this character and I can't stand it." And I'm bawling.
That's so funny. Hey, you suffer with your readers, so that's a good thing. You don't
Oh
let
yeah.
them go into it alone. Yeah, it has to be so amazing.
Well, one of my favorite things to do is, but one of the funny things I like to do, particularly to them, is I'll get to this part and I'm already crying while I'm writing it, and I'm just like, can it be more emotional? So I'll read it to them. I was like, just to see if they'll cry too. And so, and I know if they do, then I've got it. I've
There
got
you
it.
go.
So, and I was like, can I make this sadder? And they're like, why do you want to make it sadder?
That's a great strategy right there.
Share the trauma.
Exactly. I know we got a little bit of 2025 left. Is there anything that you would like to let our listeners know they can expect, like to watch out for coming from you the remainder of the year and into next year?
So Reflections of You, which a lot of readers have been waiting for, is finally coming out September 30th. It's in the hands of my narrator. It will be published by the publisher, not through me, through them. Um, yeah, that one's a heartstring puller for sure. And then I am currently working on Beautiful Forever. And again, going back to what we had previously talked about at the beginning, so the Beautiful Sin series, the guy who was supposed to be the villain became another Fallon and was like, "Hey, I'm here." Um, and I accidentally wrote him in a way that made readers absolutely fall head over heels for him. So at the end of the book, even though he wasn't part of the guys that Sin, was with,
Hmm.
um, he readers are like, I did bring him, in, and I made him part of the family, but apparently readers wanted more.
Of course.
So I was bombarded with, we have to have Alexander's story, we have to have Alexander's story, we have to have Alexander's story, and I'm just like, I've got all this other stuff I have to write. It's like I don't know if I have time. And I thought about it and I thought about it, and Alexander would not leave me alone. And so I was like, okay, fine, I'm doing it. I'm writing a story. And so I have been writing that. And right now I have it set to release next February.
Oh, wow.
Depending on, I was planning for it to be a novella. Alexander told me to forget that idea, that he wanted a full length book. So um, that really quick novella I was going to put out is now going to probably be one of the longest books I've ever written.
Oh,
Because
what a change.
yeah, because if I'm going to write his story, I'm going to write his story.
Yeah.
So I'm bringing in all of his backstory. I'm bringing in all the stuff from books 1, 2, and 3 from the Beautiful Sin series, and then I'm continuing that on. So basically, I'm writing 4 books in the one book.
There we go.
So it's been a journey. He's been stressing me out, but
It,
it's coming. It's coming. And then next year, I don't know. Because right now I'm just focusing on Beautiful Forever and then the release of Reflections of You. And I'm in the process of thinking about what I want to write next, because do I want to do another village?
mhm.
Haven't decided yet. So 2026 is kind of up in the air.
Well, hey, it'll just be more exciting for your readers to not know what to expect next from you.
Well, I'm gonna be excited. I want to know.
Yeah, exactly. Oh man, thank you so much for wanting to come on here today. It's been an absolute blast getting to talk with you.
Thank you. No, thank you so much. I've absolutely enjoyed it and loved it, and I appreciate it. And it's wonderful. I love doing interactions like this. I don't get to do them as much as I want to, so I really, really had a lot of fun. Thank you so much.
Well, thank you so much. And everybody, I will link all of Jennilyn's socials, where to find her books in the description of this episode. And yeah, just go check her out because you will not regret it.
Oh, thank you.